Good day, race fans! I'm Unsilent, and we're on the air with more Grand Prix 2, the 1996 racing sim game about the 1994 Formula 1 World Championship. It's episode 4, which means we are at round 4 of the 94 World Championship, the Monaco Grand Prix. So thank you very much for joining us. If this is your first or fourth episode watching the Monaco Grand Prix around the streets of Monte Carlo, the crown jewel event of Formula 1. Not much has actually changed with the Monte Carlo street course that they've used in Formula 1 in 1994 or 2017. However, while it looks roughly the same, if you're doing the overhead view on the track map here, it's actually changed just a little bit in a few parts when we go into the cockpit view, and we will be doing that again this time out. We did it last time out at Imola, and we'll be doing it this time, but instead of with Project Cars, we'll be looking at it with Codemasters Formula 1 2016. So let's go to the track in 1994, and here's the pit lane. Notice the garages are on your right. Come out into the pit exit lane, and it kicks you out right into the exit of entry of Saint-Devote, which the AI like to take advantage of and block you going into Saint-Devote, cutting across traffic. Now here's 2017. If you look on the left, there's the garage. They've moved the pit garage and the pit lane. As we go through pit lane exit, it's the same exit lane that you've got here, except now it puts you through the inside of Saint-Devote. So you're not going out into traffic until the exit, where everybody's on the left and you're on the right. Here's to back now, to back through to the swimming pool, piscine here, and then the second part of piscine here. Notice the barriers, the armco, and how tight this left-hander is into Rascasse. Now we go into 2017, the modern version. They've pushed back the left part of Tabac there to open it up, and then right there on your right, and then coming up on the left-hander there, You've got no barrier there, and they've just straightened out the entry into Rascasse here to open up for overtaking. And here's the Drivers' Championship after 3 rounds. David Coulthard leads with 2 wins. Jean Lacey has 1 win. He's in second. Then you've got Damon Hill, myself as Eddie Irvine, Gerhard Berger, Ukyo Katayama in the Tyrrell, Michael Schumacher in 7th, got his first points in the last race at Imola. Then Barrichello and Jos Verstappen in the second Benetton. In the Constructors' Championships, it's Williams on 2 wins, Ferrari on 1, and then my Jordan team holding down 3rd, but Benetton is charging hard now that Schumacher has found some form. Tyrrell in 5th. Now, after the last race at Imola, there were some changes made for Formula 1, but the first ones to be implemented were some new pit lane rules. For the first time, Formula 1 has pit lane speed limits. There were no speed limits for the first 3 rounds. It's a speed limit of 120 kilometers per hour in race, and an 80 kilometer per hour speed limit in practice, qualifying, and in the Monaco Grand Prix. And the pit crews must remain in the garage until needed. Previously, they would just sit out in the pit lane, usually plunk themselves down on some tires, and just wait for the car to trundle down the pit lane and be serviced. Now they have to sit in the garage and wait to be called and summoned into action in the pit lane in order to keep them safe and out of harm's way. In Imola, Michele Alboreto lost a tire, and it ended up hitting some crewmen for Ferrari, and I believe Lotus. Now, you saw I might have hit the wall there. It's Monaco, it's tough, and you can definitely get things wrong. Got it wrong there. The assisted steering put me into the wall here, and here I just kind of overcooked it and hit the wall. It's Monaco. It is a tough race. It's hard to keep your car off the wall. It's hard to pass people. I got blocked by Mark Blundell in the Tyrrell, whose engine was grenading. So he blocked me there, and my qualifying run was only good enough for 4th as a result. He didn't block me much, only through to back, really. So I went out, took another run on Thursday qualifying, and managed to move my way up to P number 4 with a 23.45. Not a bad effort for Thursday qualifying here in Monaco, and here's a look at the day 1 results. I said it's not a bad effort, but I am half a second behind David Coulthard, who's on point, and then Schumacher right behind me. A little surprise, Ukyo Katayama in the Tyrrell. You wouldn't think that the Tyrrell would excel in the tight twisty bits, but I guess Katayama did quite well at the Pacific Grand Prix at Ada. It turned out pretty well for him. Other surprises, Johnny Morbidelli in the footwork. He's in position number 9. On Saturday qualifying, Coulthard was not a threat because he was in traffic all day long, could not get a clean qualifying run, so he was stuck on his Thursday time. Us, on the other hand, waited a bit, watched the track get clear, found some space, and making a big charge at the line here. Charging up to the line, hammer down, 22.875, and that's enough for the provisional pole early on in the session. But I decided that wasn't nearly enough. Let's turn the fuel down a little more, dial in a little more front wing. The car handled beautifully as a result, and we took off another almost a second to a 22 flat, and that was more than enough to secure pole position for the Monaco Grand Prix, the most prestigious race on the Formula One calendar. So we'll fast forward on to the starting grid for Sunday's Monaco Grand Prix. It's myself as Eddie Irvine on the pole ahead of Michael Schumacher in the Benetton. It's a Williams row 2, David Coulthard and Damon Hill. Row 3, Jean Lacey in the Ferrari, and then Ukyo Kariyama holding down 6th place for Tyrrell. Rubens, my teammate, is in P7 on row 4, and Gerhard Berger in the other Ferrari. And then you go back to row number 5 in position number 9. It is Mika Hakkinen in the McLaren Peugeot. Surprise, it's Johnny Morbidelli in the Footwork Ford. He is holding down position number 10 in car number 10. Pierluigi Martini in the Minardi, he's in position 11, and Johnny Herbert, car number 12, starting at P12, just like he did at Imola. Michele Alboreto in the second Minardi in 13th, and Olivier Panis in the first of the Ligier Hondas. He won the race in 1996. Eric Coma in the first of the La Rousses, he is in row 8 alongside Mark Blundell, who is starting well behind his teammate. 10 spots, in fact, behind his teammate. Katayama was flying. Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the first of the Saubers, followed by Jos Verstappen. Row 10, it's Martin Brundle in the second McLaren, and Andrea de Cesaris. So I've got Verstappen so far behind his teammate, Brundle so far behind his teammate, de Cesaris only a few spots behind his teammate, Frentzen in the other Sauber. On to row 11, it's Eric Bernard in the second Ligier, the second Footwork of Christian Fittipaldi behind him, Alex Zanardi in the second Lotus, and then Olivier Beretta in the second LaRousse on row 12. Row number 13, it's David Brabham in the one qualifying Simtek Ford, and then shotgun on the field, it's Jean-Paul Belmondo in the lone qualifying Pacific. The horn goes, the cars start to come to life as we wait for 4 red lights. 4 lights, 4 to 6 seconds. Revs come up, we bring the noise, and green, and away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix, and there goes Jean Lacey up on the right side. But a very compromised entrance into Sandoval cost him P1. He started in 5th position, did I mention that? From 5th position, charging up into position number 2 on just the start. Here's the replay. Just a gorgeous start while everyone else was lighting up them rear tires. And he slots himself up well, but I just managed to get a better exit off of turn 1. And that's the only way I was going to get by him into position number 1. However, I almost threw it away through the Lowe's hairpin and just spinning the wheels and hitting the barricade into the tunnel there. But I was helped by Jean Lacey in the Ferrari. Schumacher could not get by him. Now, if you look at the bottom right, you'll see I've got an X, a warning on my dashboard. Well, I don't know what the hell that is because I've never seen that one before. What could that warning be? Barrichello's out of the race. It was a warning telling me there was a problem with my teammate. What happened to Rubens? Right into the wall there. What went wrong with Rubens there? And so you can see there comes the marshal, and then wait for it. The crane, the Monaco crane. He had a right front puncture just as he crossed the start-finish line, and he just pulled off to the side and parked it, rather than continued. After only 4 laps of the race, he was running just outside the points. Now, of course, it wasn't a perfect day for me either, because here we are coming out of the station hairpin, and just loops it around. You can look in the rearview mirrors. I'm trying to get some traction. Lacey catches right up to the back of me. But again, he doesn't have a lot of speed in that Ferrari compared to my Jordan. On to lap 10, the midway point. And oh no! It's all gone wrong! It's all gone wrong! The transmission in my Jordan heart has packed it in, and I've got a whole bag full of neutrals. try as I might, there is no traction. No gear is actually working in the Jordan. I am done because I cannot get drive from the engine to the rear wheels, and quite quickly I've managed to stack up the entire rest of the field behind me. All points positions right behind me. Lacey can't even get by me. Passing on Monaco is so hard. But he goes by me, and so is the whole rest of the field. There goes Katayama, Berger, Morbidelli, Hakkinen. And there I am, out of the race, parked at the exit of the tunnel. Transmission failure, and my day is done far too soon. So it's up to these two to battle for the win. It's Lacey and Schumacher in the Benetton running nose astern, line astern. Another interesting battle. Morbidelli in position number 7 in the footwork, right behind, or right in front of Mika Häkkinen, actually. Those two are going to be in a pitch battle for the entire race. And then P17's the next interesting battle. Mark Blundell, and then Andrea de Cesaris in the McLaren, and Tyrrell and Sauber. Here's another battle. It's Alex Zanardi. Oh, well, there was a battle. How do you get by someone? You wait for their engine to grenade as the Mugen Honda of Zanardi blows up, allowing Christian Fittipaldi by. Other thing to help you with passing, it's traffic. John Paul Belmondo in the Pacific blocks the leader in the swimming pool section. Lacey gets by coming out of Piscine, but then he gets blocked. And then Schumacher gets blocked by Belmondo into the Rascasse. And that opens up a massive gap for Lacey, as he can't get by him until the front straight. And that opens up the opportunity for Lacey to streak away from the chasing pack, because those three guys were right on top of him until that point. Fast forward a couple laps, and now it's the same issue with the Simtech of David Brabham. But this time, it's a good run for Coulthard up the inside. Nope, cut off by Schumacher into turn number 1, Saint-Devote. And they will remain in formation. In fact, they would remain in formation for the remainder of the race. Lacey got that blistering start and would not be touched for the whole rest of the Grand Prix. There it is, checkered flag. Jean Lacey wins his second Grand Prix of the 1994 season in Grand Prix 2, followed by Schumacher and then Coulthard. A masterclass in how to harangue a big old V12 around a very tight street circuit. And here is a look at the race results. It is Jean Lacey, 1.1 seconds ahead of Michael Schumacher, then DC, Damon Hill in 4th, Berger making a double points for Ferrari, and Ukyo Katayama scoring a point for Tyrrell in 6th. Johnny Morbidelli did prize in P7. Johnny Herbert did well to get into P9, and then Olivier Panis, he had some success at this race 2 years later. He was in position number 10. I also like to point out Jos Verstappen managing to make it up to 13th, but at the back you can see, oh, this is where the trouble begins. Zanardi with a blown engine in P23, myself with a broken transmission in 24th, Beretta with a broken engine in 25th, and Barrichello retiring with a puncture in P26. By the way, Martin Brundle won that duel for 17th. Nobody could make a pass there either. On to the Drivers' Championship, and Jean Lacey taking the lead with his second win of the season ahead of David Coulthard, Damon Hill in 3rd, but Schumacher's hot on his tail after 2 consecutive runner-up finishes. He's going to break through for that win soon. I think I'm going to as well. Then it's Berger, Irvine, which is myself, Katayama, Barrichello, and Jos Verstappen rounding out the point scores after the first 4 races of 16. Yes, we've already hit the quarter season mark here in the 1996 Formula 1 season. On to the Constructors' Championship. All those podiums keep Williams on top of the World Constructors' Championship. Ferrari's right behind there in second, but Benetton has jumped into position number 3 ahead of us, Jordans. The next round of the Formula 1 World Championship is the Spanish Grand Prix. Again, it doesn't look too different from the overhead map, but yes, we once again go to F1 2016 to highlight the differences between that version on screen now and the modern version in F1 2016. This track was probably a lot better for passing then than it is now, because I'm not expecting any passing in this weekend's Spanish Grand Prix. But that's not for 2 weeks, which will pair up with the real Monaco Grand Prix. So until the next time, I'm Unsilent. Thanks very much for joining me. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new. Share the video on social media. Follow us on social media. The social media handle is Unsilent on Air, and that's for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr. And don't forget to check out the playlist in the description. More videos on the right-hand side of the screen or on the screen right now. And until the next time, I'm Unsilent. Thanks very much for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.